Very interesting question you raise, because the amount of data that will be required for the metaverse, or for people like us, you and me, to enjoy all the aspects of metaverse is significant multiple times more than what we are using today, right? So just broadcasting a 3D show, let's say a live soccer game or football game, as we call it, if for 1.5 hours or 90-minute period is going to consume a significantly higher level of data that we consume today. So there are significant implications for how the telecom companies and ISPs are going to roll this out and price this product. If you ask me today, the way the setting has been in the last 20, 25 years, I think to move net neutrality away from the system is going to be very, very difficult. I think it might be dealt with by pricing that bandwidth more appropriately, either to the consumers like us, or the middlemen who are wanting the eyeballs, so to say, of the consumers to subsidize it in some fashion. But it is an interesting question, because the amount of data bandwidth required is, as I said, again, I'm repeating myself, many folds of what exists today.
It's going to be massive.
Okay, Manish, talking about that, then you've mentioned that in the next 25 years, the 25th or the 50th conference for CS, we're all going to be talking about the metaverse like the internet. You've mentioned the vast amounts of data that are required. So my question's twofold. One, how much is all of this going to cost in a period where there's a lot of other capital allocation going around? And secondly, how long is it going to take? Because we can talk about the metaverse and people can start investing in it now, but as you build out everything, then you need a generation of people to become accustomed to it. So what kind of time frame are we looking at, and how much is it going to cost?
Sure. So interesting question. There are more than one question buried in what you asked, but if I may elaborate one by one. So metaverse isn't really a thing or a goalpost that we need to reach at a certain point in time. It will be like, very much, again, I will compare it with the internet. I mean, internet has evolved significantly over the last 20, 25 years. And at each point in time, it's not as if internet wasn't there in 2000, but what we knew of internet and what we could do with internet back in 2000 is very different from what we can do in 2020 or 2022, right? So metaverse will continue to evolve. In terms of the applications and, some of the questions that you asked, so even within the next 2 years, you are going to see some applications. The immediate charm, or where some of more activity has been in the narrower part of the metaverse, what is popularly known as Web3, where play to earn, gaming, those type of applications, you are seeing a significant adoption or increasing adoption. And some of that has got to do with existing hardware. Clearly, for consumer space, the hardware required, the processing power required, the headsets required obviously cost dollars. That type of computing power and spending power, so to say, has been in that narrower segment of the gamers or the heavy gamers. And therefore, there's a natural adoption in that area that you are seeing today. But as you see with most things in tech, the adoption is at the high end, and then the cost curve starts declining. It's a chicken and egg problem. If there are enough users, there'll be enough applications. If there are enough applications, enough users, the price points will start coming down, and then the adoption grows.